What is up, internet folks? Today I'm going to be going over 3 of the pictures that I got back from my film camera. I'm doing 3 birds that I took on my film camera. So we're going to go into the light. We are going to, I think, drop the exposure a little bit. Contrast, I think, let's make this a little bit more punchy. Highlights, let's drop this down. Our shadows, make our shadows a little bit more dark. Our whites, let's just kind of make this pop a little bit. Our blacks, we want the blacks in there because it's a pileated woodpecker, it's mostly black. Let's go into our temperature. This is starting to look pretty warm, so I actually kind of want to cool it down because it was winter time. And if we bring our vibrance up, we can see our colors are starting to pop more. With that, you can see the red crest on this female pileated woodpecker is really starting to pop. We go into our effects. If we drop down our clarity, drop it all the way, it's not really what you want. So if we just drop it a little bit, we bring up the dehaze, that's looking pretty good. And then if we're going to drop in a little bit of vignetting, because that's the secret to get a good Instagram picture. And then in your detail, you want to bring up your sharpening. But always remember to keep it under 30. Because if it's over 30, you're not going to be able to really save it. It's just going to be a lot of artificial. So if we bring up our noise reduction a little bit, you can see that it's kind of smoothed out the background especially. And then if we go into our cropping tool, we're just going to, I think, auto straighten just a bit. Apparently it can't find it. But I think that that's gonna look a lot better there. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So I'm gonna show you the before picture and now the after picture. I think it's just a lot more clear and crunchy. And then for our second picture, we're going to have our hairy woodpecker here. And I think that it's actually pretty good, but we're gonna drop down the exposure and our highlights to just bring down this area a little bit because it's quite blown out. It's quite, that's really it, it's just blown out. If we drop our shadows just to try and help contrast it, our whites we're gonna bring up and our blacks we're going to bring down. Just make the bird look more distinguished from the background. And speaking of which, we're gonna bring our contrast up a smidge. And then we're gonna go into our color. And I think we need to kind of cool this picture out a little bit. Not too much. Maybe around 5. It's looking pretty good. Saturation, we can just throw this up like 1 or 2. I think that would do the trick. And if we go in here, we just want to come in and we're really showing what the sharpening does. If we bring it all the way, you can see there's a bunch of fringing and stuff like that. So if we just bring it up just a little bit, just enough that it's starting to do things. And then our noise reduction we're going to bring up. Now if we go into our cropping tool, I like this framing, it is pretty good. Although I just wish there was more of the tail in it, but since we can't really get more of it, and I think that is actually a lot better of a crop. As you can see, the lines are a lot more straight with the actual grading of the bird feeder. I think honestly that picture is done. So this is the before and this is the after. We're kind of just making it more punchy. It's pretty good by like how it was, but now it's just a little bit more punchy. We have this squirrel, this beautiful little squirrel. First thing, I think my Minolta camera, so I was shooting all of these pictures on my Minolta film camera. I've done a review for it. You can watch it right here. It tends to, I think, overexpose a little bit. So I'm just going to drop this down. Not really overexposed, just for my liking. It's kind of, I like my pictures a little bit moody, if I'm honest with you. Drop the highlights all the way? No. You shouldn't really ever do it all the way. Unless you're doing like a really, really big recovery. But we're going to bring our shadows down. Our whites, let's bring that up just a little bit. And then our blacks we're going to drop. And then when we go into color, here's where the fun part is going to happen. Again, this was winter time. You can see the snow above the branch. So we're going to make it feel like it's winter. And then we're going to bring vibrance up to really make the colors pop. And then our saturation, just a little bit up. I think 1 or 2, if any. And then if we go into our effects, we're going to throw a little bit of vignetting, because of course we are. It's just fantastic. Our clarity, wow, that is over edited for sure. So let's just bring it down, maybe 10. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and then if we go into details, let's see how this buddy's doing. He kind of looks cool too, eh? But if we bring up our sharpening just a little bit, maybe our noise reduction, see if we can smooth out the background. Yeah, it did it right here. And then lastly, I think I just want to fix this crop a little bit. Let's see, it just doesn't want to auto straighten anything today. What I'm thinking, yeah, just a little bit like that. I think that's really actually pretty good. And then now we're going to show the before and now the after. It's just kind of, again, making it more punchy, less blown out, is more pleasant to look at.